Good morning, Wabash. Today, speaking at the Pioneer Chapel is alumnus George Vinihakis with his talk entitled, Make It Happen. George Vinihakis graduated from Wabash in 2015 and DePaul Law in Chicago in 2018. He is currently staff counsel at Amherst Sports, whose portfolio of brands includes Wilson Sporting Goods, Solomon, and Arc'teryx. George serves virtually all legal needs of the brands, notably drafting and negotiating endorsement and sponsorship contracts for athletes and leagues, including the Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NCAA, and most recently signing the NBA to be its official basketball starting next season. In addition, his practices also include trademark licensing and product liability litigation. George also serves as the president of the Wabash Club of Chicago. While at Wabash, George was captain of the soccer team, social chair at Beta Theta Pi, and a president of the Cigar and Pipe Club. In law school, he was the managing business editor of the Business and Commercial Law Journal. Please join me in welcoming our speaker, George Vinihakis.
Good morning, Wabash. It's great to be back. I'd like to start off by saying congratulations to the seniors who've passed comps, so congratulations. There we go. Today I'd like to spend some time reminiscing on my fond memories of this place, but comps is undoubtedly not one of them. Before rolling into the speech, I'd like to briefly thank some people who helped me along this way get to this point. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my family, my parents, Socrates and Litsa, my sister Diana. And yes, my father's name is indeed that of the Greek philosopher. Thank you to my extended big Greek family of aunts, uncles, and cousins. I also want to thank Dean Welch for as much as he put up with me and Beta's, let's say, antics. He's been a great resource, a great mentor, and a friend. Can't wait to see you next in Chicago. Also, Coach Keller, who came to coach the soccer team this summer leading into my sophomore year, and turned us into a nationally ranked program by my senior year, only 3 years later. Couldn't be more proud of what we accomplished during my time here, and he's an unbelievable coach, motivator, and a person. Looking forward to helping him recruit more players and build an even more successful program. Professor Hurl, who is an effective and engaging educator, my dear advisor, and fellow soccer nut. I'd like to also thank my fellow alumni, John Castro, class of 97, Alan Klingler, 02, Kevin Hunt, 01, Chad Cleaver, 2000, and Tim Trella, the board of the Wabash Club of Chicago, and countless other alumni. You know who you are. Lastly on the thank yous is this: it takes a village, and I've had the fortune of having such an amazing support system of truly great people. But enough of that, let's move on. When I was asked by the Sphinx Club to give a chapel talk, I was elated. It's an honor that I will cherish forever. But I'm not here to lecture you guys today. You guys have surely had enough of that throughout each week from your amazing professors, so I figured this speech should be quick and simple. My intent is that you feel that this speech motivates you. If not, it should. I've titled my speech, Make It Happen. This stems from a quote by Jim Lovell, who some of you may be familiar with. For those who aren't, Jim Lovell was one of the first humans to orbit the moon. He once said that there are 3 types of people in this world. There are people who make things happen, there are people who watch things happen, and there are people who wonder what happened. To be successful, you need to be the person who makes things happen. Now, if you know me, you know that I abhor cliches and inspirational quotes alike. But Lovell's message rings true. Simply, you need to act. You need to push yourself more than your peers will themselves. You're at Wabash, and you need to feel like you need to punch above your weight, as if you have something to prove, because you do. Since you've chosen to come to Wabash, this is a challenge that I suspect many of you will tackle head on. To further this point of making it happen, I'll use a sports analogy. You cannot simply take the baton, go through the motions, and merely carry it forward to the next person or next generation. Take that baton, take that degree, take that wealth of knowledge and experience beyond the Wabash classroom, and run as fast and as hard as you can. Prove yourself, challenge yourself. Work harder, but also smarter. Learn your role, however impactful, significant, or insignificant it may seem, and master it. Even if that means delivering coffee as an intern, make sure that you're the best at it. Then deliver faster and take on new challenges. Make connections, build relationships, and put yourself out there. If that means cold calling or cold emailing alumni, so be it. Do it and do it with respect. I can tell you I wouldn't be the president of the Wabash Club of Chicago if I hadn't. Those alumni I mentioned earlier are part of the reason why I had the ability to lead the Wabash Club of Chicago. And because of them, I worked to make the organization grow, not just go through the motions and only maintain the status quo. And it wouldn't have happened if I didn't try to connect with more established alumni, even as a student. So opportunities will come, that is, if you make it happen. Having said that, I stress to you that any meaningful success in your respective careers, or life for that matter, will not be accomplished simply because you attended Wabash. You need to go beyond your comfort zone and push the envelope. You will fail, inevitably, but don't let that fear of failure bar you from seeking your own success story. Don't let it dictate your decisions, your desires to accomplish your own goals. Rather, know that the lessons learned from your failures will be the best guidance for your future success. Through those failures, particularly from my experience, you'll learn that a little less bravado and a little more humility will generate generous dividends as you go forth in life. Through those failures, a failure is merely the valley between the peaks, and what you learn in those valleys will determine the height of your success. But you will have failed if you didn't try, if you didn't show up, if you didn't learn from your mistakes. So enough of that with failure. Let's move on. As I arrived today on campus, I felt a sense of homecoming. I remember the walks around the arch, walks to the Baxter Hall, to the soccer room in the Allen Center, and the walks from the Beta House. I remember how small campus seemed. I also remember the sense of anticipation when I first arrived here in mid-August of 2011 for the soccer team's preseason training, waiting to make something of myself once I graduated from Wabash. I also remember the sense of anticipation, and you probably have had the same similar feeling, a similar experience, a similar expectation, much like that of many Wabash men who came before you. A resounding similarity among Wabash men, one that you will come to realize, is that you will all be different individuals by the time you graduate compared to the one that you were when you first arrived on campus. For the better, I'll add. This is the result of spending countless hours poring over your assignments, your reading materials, last-minute exam prep, playing hard, stumbling along the way, occasionally as a result of playing hard, and growing up all the while. Some things never change, and I implore you to invest in this experience. Invest in yourselves. But this change doesn't come out of nowhere. This is due to two things. The first is the college's mission, which is reflected in the environment Wabash educates you in. I'll get to the second part in just a moment. The Wabash education is one that sets high expectations for its students in all aspects, beyond just the books. It's pushing you on and off the field. It's the opportunity to build relationships with your classmates, professors, and staff. As well, it gives you the opportunity to lead among your peers, both here on campus and beyond. It challenges you academically while providing you the platform to lead outside the classroom. You guys have the opportunity to take on leadership roles in sports, in clubs, and fraternities. All the above at the same time if you really wanted to. I suspect many of you have done so. Not many, if any, other institutions can offer that. So take these opportunities and run with them, gentlemen. Otherwise, keep watching others make it happen. Wabash is an institution that has educated young men for 189 years. And seeing our alumni, from a vice president to Fortune 500 CEOs, lawyers, doctors, inventors, titans of industry, the list goes on and on. I think our little college has proven that the education it provides the young men is tried and true. And no doubt that these men invest in themselves, and they made the most of the education, the opportunity Wabash provides. You guys are here at Wabash for the Wabash Liberal Arts Education, an education that not only covers an array of subjects, but lessons that cannot be learned in the classroom. Your peers at other institutions are spending 4 years learning only one subject, but you're spending the same 4 years learning to approach any subject. And in life, you will face every subject. I won't belabor the point that Wabash is a challenging place, a place that can and will knock you down and humble you. The sports adage of, if you're not injured, you're not playing hard enough, lends itself to the Wabash experience. Simply, if you haven't had second thoughts, you're not doing it right. Don't sit back and watch things happen, or worse, wonder what happened. You shouldn't try to shy away from the trials and rigors of this place, and I'm sure your professors won't let you anyway. Maybe you've already got that fire burning inside you to go out in this world and make something of yourself, or maybe you've yet to discover it. I suspect most, if not all of you, to some degree, have done so, simply by virtue of choosing to have come and enroll in Wabash. But regardless, Learn to live with a sense of purpose, conviction, desire to make it happen, whatever the quote-unquote it may be to you. At this point in my life, I've realized that the quote-unquote it is to me. Growing up, my family's photo albums were filled with photos of all my relatives who never made it to this country from Greece, the old country. I've come to realize why my mother and my aunts have kept such scrupulous care of those albums. Those photos were kept for a big reason, and that is to remind everyone in my family of what we have and how lucky we are to be here in this country. This doesn't only apply to me. This is applicable to most, if not all of you. Someone down the line in your family history, whether recent or otherwise, got on a boat or a plane with no plan and nothing in their pockets but a wealth of hope for the opportunity for a better life. Not to get too somber, but that's the reality, gentlemen. This leads me to the other part of what makes Wabash such a great education, providing its students a wealth of invaluable opportunities. This second part comes down to the alumni and friends of the college having a desire, a conviction, a voluntary personal obligation to give back and pay it forward to the next generation of Wabash men. Those who have gone through the trials of Wabash know what it takes. It's a small school that punches well above its weight. And we would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge the fact that this, in part, is due to the generosity of Wabash men who have come before, whether it be financial, by way of monetary donations, or time and effort, by way of counseling, advisement, and mentorship that your alumni are more than willing to and happy to offer. On this latter point of donating time and effort, my point is proven when we see Wabash being recognized as the #1 in Best Alumni Network by the Princeton Review recently. Seeing as today is the college's annual Day of Giving, I'll focus on the former point, the financial side of things for a moment. Because the reality is that financial security matters. Today, on the Day of Giving, the Wabash community is encouraged to take the step of supporting the college from a financial perspective. It's not asking for a yearly handout. It isn't just helping improve the college's endowment, which is one of the largest in the country on a per-student basis. It's about supporting the college's mission of educating young men to think critically, act responsibly, lead effectively, and live humanely. Many of you, like me, receive generous scholarships from Wabash, making the opportunity to actually attend the school a reality. And that wouldn't have been possible without Wabash alumni and friends of the college investing their money to ensure a future return of Wabash men being able to experience the education and opportunities afforded to prior generations, if not better. This theme of giving back, both in time and effort, as well as financially, is a pillar of being part of the Wabash community. What you see around campus, what you experience inside and outside of the classroom, is because of a lot of folks believing that allowing the next generation of Wabash men to flourish is worth betting on. Wabash is an institution that does right by its students, and I, like countless other alumni, have benefited immensely from those who paid it forward, and we wouldn't dare miss an opportunity to do the same for you guys and those that follow. And the results of today's Day of Giving campaign will prove that we put our money where our mouth is. I'll echo the line from John Castro's recent chapel talks only a few weeks ago. He said, "Share your gifts, give back, give till it hurts." I couldn't agree more, and today, you'll see the Wabash community make it happen. So as I said, I'll be brief, and so to wrap things up, you guys are experiencing the Wabash College liberal arts education, an education unlike any other. You guys are so fortunate to be here and call yourselves Wabash men. My fellow alumni and friends of the college will ensure that the college's mission lives on, and every day, especially today, we'll do our part to make it happen. The rest is up to each and every one of you. Your opportunities are endless, and my excitement for you is boundless. Know that you are capable of doing great things, provided you invest in the amazing opportunities afforded to you. So go out there, gentlemen, and make it happen. Thank you. Go Wabash.